most of the stuff is set up. Both computers are back and set up. The new 286 preamp is connected up to this microphone and should be sounding pretty good, as a matter of fact.
You're live on Back to the Future.
Okay. So
it might just be you. It might just be you and I would expect that.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
It's fine.
Whoop, or not. There he is.
Oh, he came. Okay.
Warren.
He's really fumbling. Stupidness.
I got things coming. Michael.
Things? Oh, so the mic.
And you're talking about me. You're talking about me. Yeah.
Well, at least you have a dedicated room to keep it all set up.
Hold on. I know. I'm coming. Ah. And just in time. Okay. That. Microphone. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Okay.
Check. 1, 2.
Oh.
What's going on? Oreo.
God damn, look at my hair. Look how long my hair is.
You get a cut?
Huh?
You need a cut?
No, I need it to be longer. I need it to be more up here.
Yeah. So that's never happening.
No, that's not going to happen. It's those days, short of hair club for men.
Over.
So it's
hey,
so over.
Look up there. It's going too, buddy. And you're not alone.
It sucks. All right, I'm hitting the timer, guys.
Okay, I'm here. I made it.
Oh, we still can't hear you on the right mic.
No, it's all right, Mike.
Tap it. Yep, that's the right mic. It is total mayhem here at Back to the Future Central, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, as we get started. But for now, the iPhone 12 is the hottest 5G phone you can buy, closely followed by the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12. Cheaper M1 Mac Minis means grab a bargain, or wait and see why they're so much cheaper now. Epic is still taking their case to courts. It's not really working so far, but bless them for trying. Bless their hearts. And lastly, Hyundai. I'm not even ready. Look at this. I am losing my friggin' mind. I'm not ready. Hyundai. There we go. Hyundai, Kia, and Volkswagen ain't afraid of no ghosts. I mean, Apple cars. It's mayhem. It is sheer mayhem tonight on the Mac to the Future live cast. Go. I gotta say, this show is usually a little nuts. Tonight, it was more nuts than usual because I didn't know if I was going to get my camera ready to go 2 minutes before we were going to start. We didn't even know if Warren was going to be here. There were issues all over the place, and yet here we are. Here we are tonight on the Mac to the Future livecast. Go. I don't know how.
Well-oiled machine it is.
Well, you say
Well
that,
oiled.
and
Well
then
oiled.
it just isn't. Hello, Warren. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm well oiled as well. No, school. I mean, if you have a kid in school during this pandemic, it's a little nutty. So they're going back from all remote to like a hybrid. And just to make it real quick, there's this school that has borders. It's a private school, like a college, and then there's day students that commute. They're battling each other now because once they mix again, the borders are like, we don't want to, mingle with your dirty, commuters that unwashed kids that like to party while we've been locked in this prison. So that's going on. But luckily that ended about 10 minutes ago. So here I am.
Well, you say it ended.
Well,
it probably hasn't.
The Zoom call ended. That's all I know. So
okay. All right. Well, that's the important part. And we are also here with Mr. Dave Ginsburg. How are you, sir?
I was ready to go here. I have my equipment's all ready. I don't futz around like you do.
No drama.
And no drama. So I'm ready to go here. Other than the fact that I'm digging out of all this freaking snow we have here, but beyond that, you can have it.
That's us tomorrow. It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit here in the DC area like
8 a.m.
We have
no. Like
18 inches in the south side of Chicago. So
we're only getting 6.
Here's the thing. Yeah, we're getting like 3 to 6, which in Washington DC means we're getting 1 to 2, typically, because for whatever reason, I think Washington DC has like snow envy for whatever reason. And the people don't feel justified in their panic to rush out and get milk, bread, and toilet paper unless there's a compelling reason to do so. And if you're a weathercaster and you work for a local TV station and you come on and say, it's 1 to 2 inches, even though that's what it's going to be, you're not building up the proper level of panic for the Washington D.C. area. You say 3 to 6 inches. Even though it's going to be much warmer in like a day or two, so it's not like it's going to be snowmageddon or anything. You don't keep viewers by calmly reassuring the people that watch your program. Apparently,
that's not just Washington D.C. It's the same thing in Philadelphia, and we're in a weird place where everything we're all in no matter where you are in this area, you're right on the border of the rain snow line and sleet in the middle. So that every storm is like.
See, Dave right over here, he lives near Chicago, so he gets, not only does he get the benefits of like heavy snow on just for being where Chicago is, he also gets all the lake effect snow coming off of, what is it, Lake Superior, or is it
Lake Michigan?
Lake Michigan. I'm sorry. I lived in Ohio. All we had was Erie.
Oh yeah, Lake Erie and Lake Huron.
We had Erie, so that was all I knew. And coming from Florida, I had no snow until I was 21. So what the hell do I know?
I saw the lake. We went, when we took a tour of Chicago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not a lake. That's like the ocean. I can't see the other side.
Yeah, you can't see the other side.
It's crazy.
It's an enormous lake, and I've been on both sides, so it's.
Yeah.
And you can't see the other side no matter what side you're on.
Even I was on the west side, Michigan. Yeah, which is much nicer.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
there you go.
All right. Well, we got stuffs. We got stuffs to talk about. I was reading the story, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max,
which we're both very proud of owning, and happy to say that this makes total sense that it is a number one phone in the U.S.
So. Well, it is the most popular 5G phone in the U.S. and in second place, the iPhone 12 Pro.
Good.
In third place, the iPhone 12. And I think fourth place is actually the one that everyone is saying isn't selling that well.
The Mini.
The Mini, yeah. In fifth place, something that Samsung makes this week. I don't know. I don't know what it's called. It's some phone that runs
something with the name
Android.
Note in it.
Yeah.
Note, some
20
Note,
or Galaxy.
Note 21.
It's the Note Galaxy Plus.
Well, I mean,
Pro
that's the
7,
problem. There's plenty of 5G
10.
and there's plenty of 5G Android phones, but there's so many. So I mean, if you combine all the 5G Android phones into one category, into one phone, that would be the best selling phone because I'm sure there's more of them out there. But they're fragmented, so
Yeah.
But you also got to see here, looking at the article, it says the iPhone 12 Pro was the most popular F5G phone in Vermont and Washington, D.C.
Whoa, wow.
Well, unless you're like one of those idiots that got like an SE2.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be that guy.
Yeah, who'd want to be that guy? Don't want to be that guy.
You're that guy.
All right, you got you put something in here, Dave. What's this all about?
Yeah, there's a first malware that was found running natively on an M1 chip that was discovered. There was a Mac researcher that published a report that was actually cited by Wired magazine that explained in detail how malware has started to be adapted and recompiled to run natively on the M1 chip. Again, like we always say with the malware on a Mac. You take it with a grain of salt because is it gonna do anything to cause much damage other than scare people?
Or do you have to jump through hoops for it to get on there?
It's adware. It's adware. It's not malware.
It's adware.
If you read the article, it's a Safari browser extension. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And basically, when you say a researcher has discovered it, that means nobody
wrote it.
Well, it means nobody's going to see the light of day of it, probably. And
right.
Again, it's just a browser extension. I've seen worse Mac malware out there. That the worst Mac malware, what it does is it creates a profile under your profiles in settings, and people don't know to look there because they don't.
Who does?
Yeah. Because and then it takes over your settings. But this is just it's a. I would be shocked if there wasn't adware on the M1 Mac. I mean, it's going to happen. It's because adware happens.
Yeah. But
you
have to. It's not like it automatically installs itself. You have to go out and have some program that doesn't follow Apple's guidelines for an application, bypass your security settings, and then install it.
No, it says it was or is a valid. It was a valid extension, is what they said, but I don't know what that means, because if it's a valid extension, then I don't know how it got through that way.
Okay,
I'm looking at the article now. So it's native to the Mac. It's a Safari adware extension, originally written to run on Intel chips, so they just changed it a little bit. So it's a well-known member of the adware family, but it's a legitimate.
The adware family.
It presents itself as a legitimate Safari browser extension.
Okay.
So there you go.
See, that would have been a better title.
The Addams family?
The adware family.
Yeah. Okay.
Than Car Busters.
Probably.
All right. Well, anything would have been better than that. The next thing we got already. The M1 Mac Mini is being discounted by as much as $100 through Costco, but other retailers are showing cuts of $30 to $50 depending on the model. Now, let's start with you, Warren. Considering that this just came out, the M1 Mac Mini just came out in early December, yep. and there's already like these discounts on it. What do you think that means?
Well, Amazon. This is not new. Amazon had this on sale as well for like $50, and I know that because my mom's 2014 iMac is given up, so I had her purchase a M1 Mac Mini that's arriving soon. That means I have to go over and transfer the iMac over to the Mac Mini, but she'll be happy it's an M1 chip. She just wants it faster. Of course, she got a nice monitor and some mouse and a keyboard for it.
Yeah.
But it's this is not new. They discount new products all the time. Third-party sellers do. Apple never does really, but
but a cut of $100, that's like 20%.
Yeah,
close
I've
to
seen.
20. No, it's like 15%. That's still
Well,
pretty high.
It's a good discount, but I've seen, at Best Buy, I've seen before these M1s came out, I've seen the $21.99 MacBook Pro 16-inch, good model, down to like $1,600. So, it's been done. It's not. It doesn't mean that they're trying to, clear the shelves. I think it's just, it's not a new thing. So, and Costco, they probably have a lot of them. They probably buy a lot and make some money off
What?
it. So.
What do you think, Dave? Now, do you think that that they could be trying to that they know that there's something coming in the pipeline?
I mean, anything's possible. I would say that it's just you're talking about retail like Costco, who's will be well known to be doing discounts like that, just to entice people to come in and buy the product. But I mean, we're coming into March here. March is usually the first Apple event of the year, but usually they don't announce any newer Macs probably until later on in the year. So it will be interesting to see where that goes. But yeah, they probably want to to clear some of them out and entice people to buy them. So that's why I think that's why the price was put that way.
Well, I just get the feeling that this March event, because we're in a transition year where we're switching over from a lot of Intel stuff to the M series, that pretty much almost any big announcement they make this year is going to involve a new Mac of one kind or another. It may not even take center stage in whatever the announcement is, but I think there's going to be a lot of Mac announcements this year, and I still say they're going to have the entire line transformed by December of next year.
If they change the shape,
other than the Mac Pro.
It's not the Pro.
No. If they change I'm getting an echo, by the way. It just started.
Your volume is really loud.
Who?
Yours.
Oh, that's the first time I ever heard anything like that. Let me turn myself down. The level seems okay.
Because I'm not hearing an
How's
echo.
that better?
Yeah, a little better. Don't go too soft.
Better?
Oh, Dave is saying he's hearing an echo.
I lost you. Now I can't hear you.
Now you're a little too soft. I still hear it.
That's what she said.
Okay, you hear me now? Yeah. You hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. The echo's gone. Anyways, I was just going to say that if they come out with a new iMac design, that will definitely warrant a presentation, I think.
Okay. Facebook user says that they almost popped on it from Costco. So
I thought he said pooped.
Well, that would have certainly garnered them some attention.
That's Derek.
Oh, is it Derek? Okay.
Yeah, he said he almost pooped on it.
Oh, that's Eric. Derek, don't do that. That's disgusting. All right. Next story. Mac OS 11.3 beta out to developers. Some of the changes are HomePods and stereo can be connected to your Mac as a default option. And there is a new support tab in the About This Mac window, very much like a similar feature in iOS, to view how much warranty you have left. You can use it to see what benefits are available or to request a repair from Apple. Also, there's a Watch OS 7.4 beta out with an unlock with Apple Watch to let an iPhone that uses Face ID be unlocked if the owner is wearing a mask. And then, of course, I'm sure the usual bug fixes and all the rest of that. Have you heard anything else about this, Dave?
Yeah, with the Mac Mini, I actually upgraded to the beta, the 11.3. It was beta 1 actually, and I did try the HomePod stereo, and it was having some issues. So obviously, being beta, I haven't tried it in beta 2 yet. I just updated the machine in beta 2, and it would only play. It would play off in the two speakers. So you'd hear one speaker play one thing, and the other speaker would be way off on the sound. So I haven't had a chance to try it yet with beta 2. I don't know if you have, Warren, but that's something I was excited about because I was really annoyed the fact that using HomePods. I have HomePods in stereo with the two next to me here that I couldn't play them. I had to be one or the other, not both. So that's going to be kind of exciting to get that done. As far as the Apple Watch, we talked about this on In Touch with iOS last week, and it was a big topic last week. The fact that you're going to be able to now unlock your Apple Watch with your iPhone with your Apple Watch while you're wearing a mask, and that was probably a big thing.
Is this like a two-factor authentication?
No, actually, it's going to the watch actually is going to see that the iPhone's going to see that you're wearing a mask, and it's going to automatically switch it over to the Apple Watch. Apple Watch, of course, already unlocks on your wrist when you have it set to auto unlock, so it'll unlock the phone. Now, it's not going to allow you to do things like use Apple Pay or any of that other stuff, any of the security things, more secure things. You'll still have to put your pin in or have your mask off to do that. But the exciting part is you don't have to now put your code in every time to unlock your iPhone. And that was what the big thing was with that. And yeah, beta just got released today, I believe. Beta 2, we'll be talking about it tomorrow. So
I'm still on beta 1.
Yeah, beta 2 just came out today. So
yeah,
the public beta came out today.
Public beta came out today. Developer was the day before, right?
Yeah,
because I am not the kind of person to put beta software on my main machine, but I was having so many problems with Bluetooth that I couldn't see any reason why to not do it. And I have to say, especially since I did the paring down over the course of the last couple of days, where I just ripped everything apart and put it all back together, disconnected things I wasn't using, and brought the machines actually a little bit closer to the devices that I'm connecting up via Bluetooth. I haven't had as nearly as many issues. And I'm glad that I did what I did as compared to what I was thinking about doing, because I've got this big cabinet that sits up over here on my left-hand side. And originally my plan was to take the two Mac Minis, the Intel Mac Mini and the M1 Mac Mini, put them both up there with all of the hard drives and everything else that is connected up to these machines, and then make everything nice and clean here, other than the keyboard and various mouse trackball devices, and of course all my silly audio stuff. And I'm glad I didn't do that, because chances are I still would have had the Bluetooth issues if I had.
Possibly.
Yeah. So what do you think about these updates, Warren? Have you installed them yet?
Yeah, I did. So I did the developer updates yesterday on my watch and my iPad and my phone. And that went fine. I didn't notice much of a difference. Still some bugs. The remote app crashes. I learned just an hour ago trying to broadcast the Zoom meeting onto my Apple TV. That didn't work. So, some bugs, I guess, there. I did update my Pro to the Beta 2 Big Sur today. I haven't really got a chance to play with it. I'm keeping my Mac Air on production, believe it or not. I'm not going to go to beta on this one yet.
Is there a reason why?
I did it as an experiment. I actually talked to Dave Hamilton about it too, because there used to be a time where you couldn't downgrade from a beta to production on the M1 Mac, at least, because it said you can't. You have a newer operating system on it. So just for fun, I tried it in the last production, and it let me do it. And then after I did it, I noticed it ran a little bit better than it was on beta. I would have been fine if I stayed on the beta. It would be fine, but it ran a little bit better. So I figured, I have the two machines. Why not keep one on production?
Pristine, clean, whatever.
Yeah. So that's that. And it's good. The face unlock is awesome for me at work, because I'm basically on my phone and wearing masks all day. Yeah. So for me, it's it's perfect. I put the so you mentioned the watch beta, but it's really the phone. It's really the phone beta that's running most of it, I think, too. So you didn't really put say that, but all the betas came out, and it's you have to have both the beta on the phone and the beta on the watch
in order for you to get that feature to work.
Yep.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Well, also add too is WatchOS 7.3 to 0.1 came out to fix the problems, and I know Warren. We're going to talk about that tomorrow too. Warren had a problem with his Series 5 watch, and the SE watch is also having a problem with it. I think it was battery life issues, and
it goes into power. It goes into power reserve, and it won't come out of power reserve. So this doesn't fix that; it prevents it. If it broke already, you have to ship it back to Apple. So there's some,
but they're going to cover it regardless if it's covered under warranty or not.
Yeah. So basically, if you charge, if your battery dies and goes into power reserve, and you put it on the puck, it does nothing. So it doesn't charge. That's what happened.
Okay. All right. Next up, everyone's favorite gaming company, Epic, not content with getting their hands slapped in just U.S. courts, is taking their argument that Apple is a monopoly deserving of antitrust violations, and to be convicted of such, has filed in the EU. Epic still insists that they should be allowed their own payment system, apart from Apple's, but that still uses iOS as its base. Epic does this with a straight face, while not allowing alternative payment methods for third-party skins and other additions onto their popular Fortnite gaming service. Tim Sweeney, claiming to be speaking on behalf of all iOS developers, says that they will not stand idly by, and allow Apple to use its platform dominance to control what should be a loving playing field, a level playing field. So Epic just continues to try to shoot this out there, looking for some court somewhere that's willing to see this as other than the BS that it is. Warren, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm getting bored with the whole thing, but there was something in it. I forgot what state it was, but they sent in some guy to create a case where they had to force Apple to sideload apps, and that case was thrown out. I think that didn't make it anywhere.
No.
So they keep trying, and I think at this point people are just fine with the idea that Epic is just not coming to iOS, and that's life at this point.
They're finding other things to do on their iPhones than play Fortnite.
Oh.
No, nobody's giving up their iPhone because they can't play Fortnite, as far as I know. Maybe one or two people.
Yeah, certainly not enough to make up for the millions that they were bringing in before when they were on iOS.
Apple's sales are still good, despite their stock price doing whatever it's doing, but sales are still good. Their numbers were good last year, and I don't think they care.
Nope.
Apple.
Nope. They'll say, well, all you got to do is follow our rules and you'll be back. Yep. What do you think, Dave?
Nor do I care. Yeah, I'm pretty tired of hearing about this whole thing. I'm glad it was quiet for a while, then now it's back in the news again. So, I don't think Apple's sweating it. It is what it is, and Epic can do what they need to do, and they feel to be important. But Apple's being flexible with a lot of things, and they're being flexible with other things, and not being monopolistic with a lot of other things that they're talking about. And a good example was they're going to be opening up to allow you to have a third-party music app as their default. They're changing their defaults. So just an example of another thing that Apple's not forcing people down their throat as they had in the past. So I'm sick of it. Honestly.
Yeah, the weird thing is, I think it was Spotify that kind of came in as almost like a friend,
right,
with Epic, and was like trying to use the same arguments. But if Apple goes ahead and opens up iOS to a third-party music service as the default, well, then their argument kind of goes out the window too.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but I get the feeling that in the battle of the Tims, Tim Cook will be around for as long as he wants to, and Tim Sweeney is kind of treading water at this point. Speaking of weirdness, there's a consortium of mobile advertising companies that are forming a partnership called the I have no idea what this means, Post IDFA Alliance. to help marketers and app developers to adjust to Apple's upcoming changes in iOS for stricter user privacy standards. What the hell was that?
Oh, I banged on my microphone. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
The springs on his arm.
It was the gong bell saying to wrap it up. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. What was it? Oh, it was the gong. It was on the Gong Show. Let's not go down that rat hole.
Don't go off a tangent.
I know. I'm so well. You know me. I get lost sometimes.
That's what I said. Keep going.
This sounds like a friendlier approach than Facebook's all-out war of silly words to try and force Apple to change their minds about user privacy and data, which Facebook believes will harm their business model, because it will harm their business model, and I'm okay with that. Dave, you got first shot here.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. And Facebook has got to just get over it. This is part of what Apple's doing. This is part of what Apple's doing to protect their customers' privacy and giving the options to opt in, opt out. So, case closed. I mean, I'm growing tired of all this stuff. It's just they have to understand that this is the way it is, and if they don't like it, then go to another platform. And good luck finding one that's going to work for you.
Or work as well. Yeah. What do you think, Warren?
Yeah, I mean, what he said, it's Apple has the right to do what they're doing, and we appreciate that. And Facebook and these other places have the right to fight it, and that's their right too. It's going to be up to if the courts do. I've said it before. There's no right and wrong. I mean, Apple's right by keeping devices secure and telling people that that's what they want to do. Yeah. Facebook is right to say, listen, Apple, this has been, this partnership has been going on for a long time, this Facebook on iOS thing. And, for years and years and years, we've been, making our money. You've been making your money. Now things are changing. You're changing the rules a little bit. We don't like it, and we're going to fight it. I mean, they're not wrong to fight it. They might be wrong. They're entitled. They might be wrong to.
They're entitled. Yeah, they're entitled.
Yeah, I'm not faulting them for trying, because this is a significant amount of their business they could possibly lose.
And they're not being sneaky about it. This is their business model. So I mean,
they're not being smart about it either.
They have no recourse. I mean, they would have to change their whole business.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, in the way that they're fighting this, has been. I don't know who is advising Mark Zuckerberg on the things to do to fight something like this, but it's been laughable. The whole, we're doing this on behalf of all the small businesses and the full page ads and all the rest of that. It's like, nobody is believing you at this point, Mark. So maybe your tactic should be instead to try to convince people to continue to allow you to do what you do, as compared to trying to get Apple to change what it is that they're going to do.
So the only way they'll be able to do that is basically convincing you, the user, that saying, I allow this is okay.
Yeah, because otherwise, you cut services. You cut the things that you're able to do in Facebook in order to get people to hit that, okay, I'll let Facebook do this button.
Is that what you think the people are going to want? I mean,
I don't know. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there who, for whatever reason, go into a voting booth and hit all of the buttons that have one letter or another. There are all kinds of people out there that when they see a warning come up on their computer saying, well, I think you should give some thought before you do this or not, and they just just let them do whatever it is they want to do.
With computer, I mean, with all these disclaimers, we all do the same thing. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
If you're in the middle of
nobody's reading EULAs, certainly not.
And certainly when you're about to install something or go to a website that you need to do, you're not going to sit there and read so on occasion, my iPhone will say, this application has been using your location a lot. Do you want to set it to always allow? I'm like, sure, I guess, go for it. We generally don't care to read what's going on. And Mark Zuckerberg could come out and say, listen, just accept it. It's fine. It's cool. Nothing's, what's going to happen. But to take away, I mean,
has anything bad happened yet?
well, what would you take if you were them? What would you take away from Facebook if you didn't agree to that?
Oh, I use Facebook to talk to the family, to do live casts and stuff like that. I don't use a lot. I mean, I while I'm on Facebook quite a bit, I don't use a lot of their different services. So I couldn't even tell you what half the stuff is. I know that there's lots of games and there's, quizzes and polls and all these things that seem to occupy people's minds. So you can make it so that, some friend of yours says, oh, you should take this poll or you should play this game. And then Facebook comes up, well, yeah, you can play that game if you want, but we need you to hit this button right here.
Or they might say that for what if they said you can't live cast unless you say accept to their stuff. I mean, just the example is, if it's something you care about, what's your privacy worth?
Well, so, I would probably go ahead and hit it and then only use Facebook on Chrome. And, this is what I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago. I'm basically going to switch all of the stuff that, banking and all the rest of that, I'm switching over to Safari. And for things that I know are going to be, for lack of a better term, compromised as far as data and location and all of those things, I'll just continue to do with Chrome, and I won't worry about it because Chrome is, Google is one of the offenders as well. They're avoiding updating their mobile apps right now because it seems that they're kind of waiting to see which way the wind blows as far as
all the browsers. All the browsers are the same. Trust me, they all have that tracking feature if you want to turn it on, and you could Chrome. It's basically I use Edge, and Edge is built on Chrome, but it's
well, Chromium, isn't that what that platform is called? Chromium.
Yeah.
Well, Chrome is Chromium.
Yeah, it's like how Safari is not web services.
WebKit.
WebKit. Yeah, thank you. I was trying to remember what that was.
Firefox has its own thing too. It's it's something else. Yeah. So, again, and I've told people this before, but you could go on Safari and give more information than you ever thought you could ever give, and you could go on Chrome and give no information that that goes out. It depends how you configure your browsers.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else before we move to the last story? Okay. Apparently, after getting a stock boost from rumors about being involved with the as yet imaginary Apple car, Hyundai and Kia are walking back on some of the details of the not officially endorsed by any party involved manufacturing deal. Korea's financial services division is looking into major stock trades by high-level officials of the two companies as their stock prices went up by more than 20% on the never-confirmed rumors. On an unrelated note, Volkswagen's chairman Herbert Diess has said he isn't scared of Apple joining the car-making club, stating that the car industry is, boy, this is like deja vu, is not a typical tech sector that you can take over in a single stroke, and Apple will not manage that overnight. I wonder if Michael Dell, the former CEO of BlackBerry, or Steve Ballmer might have some advice to give to him. What do you think, Warren?
Yeah, I saw the article of him saying he wasn't scared.
It sounds kind of scary.
There's a lot of companies that are doing electric cars. I think Jaguar just said they're going to be all electric in like 5 years or 4 or 5 years. They're all looking to self-driving cars. They're all looking to electric cars. Tesla's been doing it for a while. I don't know if Apple's going to come out with something, and if they do, is it going to be like, just totally better than everything else that's been doing it for a while? It would have to be probably for him to succeed. I think.
Well, I think all they want is 1% of the market.
Like the iPhone 12 mini, almost.
Yeah.
It's the iPhone 12 mini of the car market, is what it is.
Yeah.
again, it's all. I mean, of course, these CEOs are going to be say things that we're
Upbeat.
not scared and we're not. I know Volkswagen. I know all these companies are doing all they can to have a self-driving electric car that's going to be good. That's the way it's going. Everybody's doing it. So listen, competition's good, and as much as we hate other companies competing with Apple because we love our Apple stuff. Apple
it
wouldn't
doesn't
be,
bother me.
Apple wouldn't be as good as it is if it wasn't for the competition. And
That's very true.
So the more people that, and you know what, for self-driving, there's a piece of me with the self-driving that almost wants all these manufacturers, everybody who's working on it, just to form a consortium.
Yes.
Because this is like whoever could perfect this, that's the only way we're going to go forward in this. And like if Tesla has their own system of doing it and Apple has their own system of self-driving, we're all going to crash into each other. And so, for me, they should just, the government should step in and just form some kind of like organization that, combines them all together.
Well, that's part of the problem though, is a lot of these companies aren't set in the US. So there's not always a whole lot that the U.S. government can do
or maybe a world organization, something.
To me, it's like, okay, why do all of these cars have different connectors for charging up the power? Why do all of these cars have different self-driving systems? To me, it would make more sense to have a networking feature built into the cars so that the cars are talking to one another as you're going down the road, so that one car can sit there and say, well, you're getting a little close there. And then that car can go, oh, sorry about that, and back off a little bit or move more to the side one way or the other. And a low level kind of connection just so that they're aware of each other. Because
there's been talks of that.
Yeah, well, it's not enough to just sit there and say, okay, the car knows where it's going, and the car is using some kind of radar or LiDAR or some kind of DAR to know what is around it at any given time. I mean, there was the example of those people that were killed in California when their car just smashed right into a concrete barrier that had been set up.
And the guy in the truck too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's scary. I mean, when I put on the on my Tesla, if, one of the cameras get dirty, it doesn't work. So, I mean, the car is depending on seeing what's out there, which is, it's a weird system, I guess, is what it is. Is basically the car has eyes, more or less. But, in a perfect world where what you're saying, the cars talk to each other, the car knows exactly what the road is like, all the conditions, where all the stoplights are, where all the traffic. I mean, it's going to be a while.
The cars ahead of it are saying, oh, hey, there's this pothole in the road right here, or the traffic is slowing down up here, so you should prepare for that. And then
you got people, you have animals, you have the trolley car situation, which is, I don't know if you know, but if there's there's a group of 9 nuns or one adult on one side, which way, and the car has to hit something, what is it going to hit? What does it choose? And there's all these things that are factored into it to decide where the car's going to go if there's something that's unavoidable.
It goes horribly, horribly wrong.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just so much. So, I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, it kind of bothers me, the fact that there's so many different companies working on this technology, because
and they're not working on it together. And, when automobiles first became like a serious thing in the relatively early 1900s, there were several different methods of propulsion that were being considered. Hell, there was steam. There were battery powered cars. There were gas powered cars. There were kerosene powered cars. There were all these different types of cars or propulsion systems that were being used. And eventually the market exploded once they pretty much all settled on gasoline, because it was a common fuel source. And that's really what's kind of needed here, is some kind of commonality between all of these different companies, so that if you have some kind of charger at your house, it's not going to be specific to having a Nissan, or specific to having a Ford, or specific to having a Kia, or whatever type of car it is that you want. It's going to be good for whatever car you connect it up to. And in order to move up to the level where electric cars become the thing to have, you need some kind of commonality. Something that makes them similar to each other more than being apart from one another.
The battery thing doesn't, and the charging thing doesn't concern me as much as the self-driving aspect of it, because there are adapters and they're improving the batteries, and now they're saying they're going to find batteries that can, I mean, they settled on this battery technology for car. I mean, nobody's making, nuclear cars or solar powered cars at this point. So, I mean, it's just, we settled on the battery. And, they're going to try to make the battery has problems. They have to make it, last longer, charge faster, and
remain lightweight.
And then the big question now is, what are you going to do with all these batteries in the future that we're making when they're done? And so that's the question too. And then
go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I mean, just one thing about the manufacturers I was going to say. Hyundai owns Kia, so they're the same company. So that's one company in itself. By it right there, I saw GM at CES, and they demoed the Hummer EV, and it was pretty incredible. They're talking about going to be, they want to be all electric by 2035. So, all these car manufacturers are looking for that goal. The ultimate goal of doing that. I mean, they're partnering up with FedEx, GM, and FedEx is already looking at a new fleet of commercial trucks that they're going to be all electric. So I mean, it just continues on. This is a tough market, and Apple getting involved with this, and because of the technology, they really want. This seems like they're interested. Now, is it going to happen? I would say Apple's involvement with this is going to be down at least next 4 to 5 to maybe even 8 years before we even see anything with Apple and relates to electric cars.
Well, I know Gaz over at the My Mac podcast keeps talking about that the Apple car isn't actually a thing as much as it's a service.
Right.
And
which it might be.
I don't know if I agree with that, but if it is, they're putting a lot of resources into something that would only be a service.
Right.
Anyway, I think do either one of you guys have anything that you want? Oh, didn't mean to do that. There we go. No. Have anything else that you want to add before we head out for the evening?
What else is going on out there? No, it looks good there. Malware, we talked about the malware. I got a new backpack for my work today.
I got a new preamp. I have a DBX 286S preamp that I have connected up to this microphone, and I'm thinking about getting.
Let me talk about my nice backpack. It's a Thule, and it was on sale from like $150 to like.
Thules are good.
Yeah, and it's got lots of pockets, and it holds up to. I could put 2 laptops in there if I want. It's a good day.
Well, you know what they say about Thules. Thule me once, shame on you. Thule me twice, shame on me.
That's Mike Tyson right there. Don't fool me. You can't fool me anymore.
You can't fool me.
Yeah.
You can't fool me.
And none of us would be saying those things if Iron Mike Tyson was standing in front of us right now.
Don't steal this tiger.
Yeah. All right. Warren, if people wanted to get a hold of you, how the hell would they do it?
I don't know. They do it.
You should be a little more specific.
They could do it on this show. They could do it on Facebook. Come to the Back to the Future webpage or Facebook group. I'm not checking Twitter still, so don't do that.
Twitter is so toxic these days.
And I do the podcast with, I guess we're having Chuck on tomorrow. Is that
what's
going on?
Yes, we are.
Nice.
I like Chuck. Yeah. So I could be there too.
Okay. All right, Dave, how about you?
You can find me and Warren at In Touch with iOS at intouchwithIOS.com. That's Warren just mentioned. Chuck Joyner will be on the show this week. You also can find me on Mac Voices Live. That's become a thing and a real thing. And make sure you sign up for your Slack group there, Mr. Guy. And you were invited. And we do that every Tuesday night on Facebook and YouTube.
So much fun.
YouTube has become probably more popular than Facebook. We usually get about 10 or 12 folks in the chat over there. So Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, youtube.com/Mac Voices TV, and on Facebook and the Facebook group on their page. You can also find me on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network. I usually am on there each Friday doing that show. And you also can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DaveG65. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually wasn't able to be on last night because this room was just not connected. It was a disconnected mess. As a matter of fact, the only reason why I'm able to use this camera tonight is I bought one of those fake batteries for it that you plug in so that it's always powered, and you kind of fool the camera into thinking it's got a fully charged battery. And it wasn't supposed to come until Friday, but it came tonight, like about 6:30. So I was like, yay! So I've got the new camera going right now. But I got everything put back together, and there we go. So instead of using my my old Logitech webcam, I've got my new camera. I've got my new preamp. Same old microphone. I keep coming back to this microphone right here. I love
Old
this
trusty.
microphone. Old trusty.
Hi-oh.
So, hi-oh, Silva. Actually, it is Silver. If you wanted to get a hold of me, all you would have to do, you could send me an email, guy@mymac.com. You can find me on the Twitters. I am MacParrot and VertShark. VertShark.com is the website to find all of the audios and all of the videos. You can do a search over on the YouTubes for VertShark, and you'll find it. You'll find, don't do that for too long. You'll find it over there as well. What else? I do Guy's Daily Drive, where I drive in a car and say things and then put that out live, as well as the mymac.com podcast that I do every single week for the last 10, 11 years with Gazmaz over there in the UK. And if you would like to help support all of these things that I do, you can go to patreon.com/MacParrot. You can go to ko-fi.com/ not yet, wait for it, MacParrot. There you go. And lastly, you can pay a pal over there on PayPal, paypal.me/MacParrot. There we go. And that should be the last one for the evening, unless Dave just has an obsession about hitting that.
All right. One more. There we go.
That's what $250 gets you. Right?
And the weird thing is, I'm actually looking at a different streaming service that we can be using that will allow us to do a little more interaction with our audience, where people can actually raise their hand. I'm not talking about Zoom, this other service where
like a clickable link.
Yeah, well, not so much a clickable link. They can come in and we can hear them and maybe see them and do stuff. I'm still looking at it. We'll see if I do anything with it or if I'm just talking out of my hat. Who knows?
Anyway, Facebook users, is so informatic.
I like that word. So that is going to do it for this evening. Dave and Warren, would you please say good night?
Good night.
Good night.
And that is going to do it. So we'll see you guys next week. Right here.
Play the music. Play the music.
On the Mac Future Livecast. Go!
The upgraded winter storm warning. Look at that.
Hey,
Yeah, I
you
haven't
make
looked at.
4 to 6 inches.
I'm gonna hit refresh and see what it's telling me now. Nope, still saying 3 to 6 inches with ice accumulation of around 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch.
Oh, we get the
Highest
light. We get the light
accumulation
glaze. Yeah, an ice
is-
accumulation at a light
Ooh.
glaze.
East of Interstate 95, which is where I am.
Yeah.
Washington, Baltimore metropolitan areas from 3 a.m. tonight to 6 a.m. Friday.
I'm wondering
So
if I'm going to
tomorrow
go into work
is-
tomorrow.
Tomorrow is going to be a complete and utter shitstorm. Oh,
I don't think I'm going to go in.
We're still broadcasting. All right, we're
Oh.
going to go, everybody.
ya.
Bye.
Goodbye.